Good afternoon, Brendan. Here is the Breville Infuser, BES840 in silver. So as you saw in the photos, it's in good condition, some light wear and tear on the front, a little bit around the sides, but in generally good condition. And I've just finished doing the clean and the descale and the checkup, and the machine passed all the tests. It's in very good condition on the inside. Actually had no issues to repair in there, so that's very good. The machine is on at the moment, and in this video I'm just going to be making a quick latte to show you that everything works fine, and obviously to teach you a few things about how to use the machine. Okay, so I've put in my cup here and the handle without any coffee, just to run a blank shot. So that's just running hot water through the handle into the cup to warm things up, like the portafilter, the group head, and the cup as well, obviously. So you can press the double button for that. Doing this step will also clean a little bit of the oil and the coffee ground that are stuck usually in the shower screen. So I think it's a good step to do every time you use the machine. Doesn't hurt anything, to be honest. I'm just going to grab some milk. Okay. Let me actually grab a small mug. So I'm going to grab a small espresso shot glass to pour the shot in. I just want to cut my shot in half because it's late in the day. Anyway, same thing. You can pour the hot water into the shot glass if you're having straight espresso. And put it on the side. This in the handle is the double basket. So your machine comes with a single and a double, along with a few other accessories, all stowed neatly behind the drip tray. So this is the double basket. It takes 18 grams of ground coffee, and it's important to know that it all depends on the grind size and the beans that you're using. So make sure you're using fresh beans, and also make sure you have your grinders set on the correct grind size. So if it's too coarse, the coffee will be running too quickly. If it's too fine, the coffee will be running too slowly, and that'll also affect your the taste of the coffee as well, not just the length and the speed. So I'm going to usually I would put the portafilter, tear the scale so that it's on 0, and then grind until it's about 18 grams into the basket. In this grinder, it weighs it automatically, so that won't be necessary. So 18 grams. And let's just make sure it's okay. So I think some of it's spilled, unfortunately. Let me try doing that again. Yeah, that's 18. Close enough. Great. So after you grind your coffee, try to flatten the mound of coffee with your palm or your fingers before tamping it. Grab your tamper So I put some tape here to know which part is up and which part is down. So this is the top part. This is the part you should be tamping with. You can tamp with both sides. It's just that the bottom one is a bit bigger. So it'll fit your portafilter. This one is a bit smaller. Great. So it fits the machine very nicely. This one, it's about 53 millimeters. So you want to tamp it nice and firm. Clean the edges. And then lock it in. You may want to upgrade your tamper or get one of those fancy distribution tools, but at the moment this does the job fine, to be honest. So lock it in all the way to the right. Should be at about 5 o'clock position. If it's at a 6 o'clock position, it still would work normal, but it might pop off. So make sure it's locked in all the way to the right for this one. And I'll grab the shot glass now. And it's time to make the coffee now. So I'm going to use the scale again to measure the output of the coffee. So as you remember, we put 18 grams in. We want to double that in terms of liquid coffee. So 18 grams in, 36 grams out. It doesn't have to be exact, and honestly, you can do it as long or as short as you want. It's just that the standard ratio that people use for coffee, for espresso, is a 2-to-1 ratio. So I'm going to aim for about 36 grams output, and I'm going to try to do that in about 20 to 30 seconds. If it's within that range approximately, it should be a good coffee. And these buttons here, they're programmable, so you can, let me put the scale here, that'll be easier. These buttons here, they're programmable, so you can make them as long or as short as you want, which is very handy. Yeah. And you should pay attention to 2 things when you make your coffee. So the pressure gauge, you want it to be around 12 o'clock, maybe 1 o'clock. That's the optimum range for this machine. And you want the coffee to be flowing nice and smooth from the portafilter. If it's too slow, that's probably because the grind size is too fine. If it's too coarse, it'll be too quick. Yeah. And if you find difficulty locking in your portafilter, then that's probably because you have too much coffee in there. So the way I think about it is put enough coffee so that it's just at the surface, and then when you press it down, it'll go a little bit deeper. So that's a good way to think about it. Okay, so I'm going to change this button to give you 36 grams of coffee, and the way you do that is program and then press the button. Okay, so coffee's coming out very slow. That's probably because my grind size is too fine. Yep, so that's 25 grams in 40 seconds. I think we're gonna have to do that again. So I'm gonna change the grind size on my grinder. And hopefully the second one will be a bit better. I'll pause the video and then we'll do that again. Okay, so we're back. This is about 17 grams now. I've increased the grind size on my machine. And we're going to do that again. So, lock it in all the way. Here you go again. Just gonna reset the timer here. That's looking much better. So around 11-12 o'clock, not too bad. The flow is nice and smooth. We have some good crema. That's looking like a really nice smooth shot. So we're approaching 25 grams, 30, and 36. So that's about 30 seconds. We got about 38 grams now. As it's dripping, it's a total of 38 grams in 30 seconds. So I think that's very good. The machine now has remembered to dose exactly that amount of water next time. So every time you press that button, it'll give you about in the same ballpark. Of course, that'll depend on what coffee you're using, but it'll try to give you the same amount of coffee, which is this much. So as you see, we have some good crema. The flow is nice and smooth. The pressure is at about 11-12 o'clock, which is very good. And this is the espresso part. Let's do the steaming now. So very easy, just turn it on, wait a few seconds, it'll start giving you steam. Give it a few more seconds for the pressure to increase, and then it'll be ready. I've put in cold full cream milk in my milk jug over here. So about whatever jug you're using, you want to fill about halfway. So after this goes, you want to turn it off and put the wand at an angle and try to incorporate the air into the milk as you spin it. You want to be hearing that hissing sound, that means you're injecting air into the milk. And you want to hold this position for a set amount of time. So for a cappuccino it would be about 30 seconds. For a latte it would be closer to 20 seconds. So the more you keep the tip of the wand close to the surface, the more air you'll be injecting. So if you want to make it really bubbly, really volumetric, keep it in that position for a long time. But if you want it to be a smoother latte, maybe only do that position for about 20 seconds, and then after the 20 seconds, so right about now, you want to raise the jug and dunk the wand deep into the milk. So at this stage I'm only spinning the milk in a vortex, sort of, and I'm no longer injecting any air into the milk. So I'm going to keep doing this position until the jug is too hot to touch, which is right about now. When I can't touch the jug for more than half a second or so, I'm going to turn it off. Carefully remove the wand and purge before letting it turn off. Just purge. And now the machine will be cooling down on its own. So, where's my other cup? Great. So I'm gonna put some of this espresso in here. And that's about right. And for the milk, I'm going to knock down the jug to break any air bubbles. That's just my cat. I'm going to swirl it around to mix it up. And I almost forgot, if you like hazelnut syrup or equal or sugar, add that before adding your milk. It'll mix better with the espresso, or even before putting the espresso in the cup. You want it to be mixing nice, so add it before. And let's pour the milk now. Break the bubbles, mix it up, and pour. Very nice. You can easily practice and do some latte art on this machine, just like a barista would do. But of course, the most important thing is the taste, and this looks really good. Here is the final result. So here's the latte. very smooth looking. And I'm sure you'll be able to do similar coffees or better with this machine. I almost forgot, when you're done with making the coffee, so even perhaps before doing the milk steaming, you want to knock it off straight away into a knock box or a bin, and you want to purge. So that means just like before, you want to run some hot water through the head to clean and rinse this will clean all the oils and the coffee grounds, of course, from the drip head. And if you put the portafilter underneath, that'll also rinse the portafilter. I think the better way to do it is to do this step right after pouring the espresso and then starting to steam the milk. So let's do that again. I'll show you the routine that I usually do. I just forgot to do it in this way. So as you're steaming, obviously the boiler will be getting really hot after steaming. And then when you turn it off, wait for the machine to cool down, and it'll cool down on its own. You'll see it purge some hot water into the drip tray. And after this, you want to purge the wand after it's done cooling down, and you see the lights light up. Now the machine is in espresso mode. So to purge the wand, just quickly turn it. That will purge water, actually, not steam. It'll purge water and rinse the actual wand. So now it's cooled down and ready to make another espresso. I would grab a wet towel. Let me do that right now. And wipe off the milk residue straight away, because if you wait, it'll be harder to remove, for example, in the next morning. So the sooner you do this, the better. And that's all you need to do to make a coffee on the Breville Infuser. Hope you enjoy it, and I'll just turn off the video and clean it. I think you're on the way now. So I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Cheers.